The Christian Keys revelations right now are absolutely blowing my mind. My head is spinning trying to process all this info. Get ready, be prepared to be infuriated, and let's get into this one. Get ready for some drama, y'all. This one's a doozy and heartbreaking.
I want to, and I know you on here.
It's a 34-minute testimonial, so it's quite intense, long-winded, but an extremely important and relevant story we should all pay close attention to. If you don't know, Christian Keys is an actor, model, and producer who is basically blasting off the Hollywood industry for assault, constant harassment, the abuse of the power dynamics, and the sheer evilness in the world of the performing arts. Not that we're too surprised after Weinstein, but definitely does not cease to infuriate every fiber of my being. He admits he himself is a victim of said abuse, and profusely regrets not having spoken up earlier and not being brave enough to do something about it then. If you ask me, bravery doesn't have an expiration date, and the fact that he's doing something about it, despite the risks that it may entail, is an act of sheer courage, as brave as he can be. In a recent post on Instagram, Christian Keys confesses how he is ashamed of not having spoken up sooner, and how heavy it is on his heart for not doing something more. The video might be a little hard to watch, considering how devastated, frustrated, and sincere Keys looks. It's almost as if you can really see how hard of a time he's having by telling his story. Christian begins his story by establishing the difference in power dynamics from the get-go. As an unnamed, for now, billionaire pursues him in a rather aggressive manner. He establishes that he only had $3,000 in his bank account at the time, and speaking up against the abuser would only backfire. After all, he only had $3,000. The other guy's a billionaire. Who are they gonna believe? Poor guy's facing the age-old question. At this point, it's clear that Hollywood does not want to change, and will not change a thing. They're just gonna be better at hiding it.
It's heavy on my heart, man, and I'm tired. In the moment, I'm like, what?
Keys explains that he finally had lots of workflow coming in, and he was able to take care of his rent, his baby mama's rent, and his kid. However, as you might expect, as Christian very accurately put it, all that money had a penis attached to it. As he continues to express his frustration, he admits being mad at himself for not hitting him and reciprocating the violence, which the billionaire clearly deserved then and deserves now. However, once again, if you ask me, it's not an easy position to be in, and it's not an easy thing to act out on. While I understand his desire to respond quickly, fact of the matter is, it's just not that easy, and that's nobody's fault. Regret can only get you so far. Regret is not stopping Christian from speaking up now, and that's what matters.
I'm mad at me for not hitting him. I'm mad at me for not speaking up and saying something.
Although he expresses regret, Christian focuses on exposing the guy and the constant offers, if you can even call it that, he would push around. Just to further prove a point and attempt to entice Christian, the billionaire would constantly mention how he has several dudes on payroll, giving them up to 6 figures a year, ready to do whatever he wants them to do and go back home. Moreover, according to Christian, this man climbed into bed with him and attempted to reach for his private areas, and Christian stopped him. Yet once again, despite the insincere apologies from the billionaire, he persisted. Some people believe that, through some of these statements, it is implied that this man typically prefers men who don't identify as bi. In short, he prefers straight men over anything, the classic "I switched him" type of scenario. Regardless, fed up with the harassment, Christian took it one step further and brought a recording device with him.
You can hear him on the conversations. You can hear him on the conversations.
Exposing the constant mentions of, quite frankly, not subtle offers for money in exchange for, and bringing his name to the table. As he progresses to divulge more details, he makes mentions of the billionaire's very distinctive voice. And don't worry, we're gonna get to who the billionaires are later.
And try to grab my private parts, and I'm blocking their hand like, what the are you doing?
Although Christian doesn't explicitly name any names, there's some pretty good guesses regarding the people he might be talking about. Despite his regret, Keys uses grief and the trauma he went through to his favor, deciding to, as an executive producer of his show, never become like those guys. To stray as far away from that to the point that it is an impossibility to allow himself to become that way. It showed him what not to do, how not to be. When you're in power, how not to behave. In an extremely brave and encouraging note, Christian expresses that this man, with his horrible advances, allowed him to see who he himself, Christian, was, the man he is.
You don't pressure them, bully them, try to intimidate them into what you want.
To make matters worse, Christian has apparently been holding on to this information since 2008. We're talking way over a decade here, a decade that I'm sure has been filled with silence and intimidation. You may be wondering, how do we know for sure that this has been going on since 2008? Well, considering this sounds like it happened when Christian was getting started on and beginning his acting career, it would make sense for 2008 to be the year where the horrors began for Christian Keys. Moreover, just as an additional fact, Claudia Jordan has recently spoken up about the allegations and has confirmed every word Christian is saying, expressing support and further adding that he has been waiting since 2008 to come out with the truth. Later on, Christian recounts another event with yet another billionaire, or at least that's what people seem to be thinking as of right now, who apparently visited his house and offered him up to $100K to take off his clothes. This billionaire then went on to attempt to offer him strawberries, cream, and practically every food that's generally in an attempt to further entice him. Apparently, he then went on to offer him a scholarship, which apparently this billionaire is known for donating scholarships. Of course, he then proceeded to offer him more exposure in his business, a classic move we're all aware of. Disgusting as always. Now, as far as who the men are, once again, do keep in mind that all of this is alleged and speculation, as Christian, given the NDA he was put under, is not at liberty, at least currently, to disclose further details regarding his traumatic experience with these two billionaires. The first billionaire that people are speculating about is none other than Tyler Perry, the man who is, or was at this point, who knows, in the writing staff of his own show, Tyler Perry. That's right, the well-liked and borderline squeaky clean Tyler Perry seems to potentially have a darker side to him, one that completely destroys the image we might have had of the once lovable actor. Although this is all based on speculation, considering how Christian expresses that A, this is a billionaire he has worked with, Tyler Perry fits the bill for that one, B, this happened on set, considering he would potentially be working with Tyler Perry on set, and C, the sheer difference in the power dynamic between the two, with Perry's success against Christian's more amateur entrance into Hollywood, would also point to Mr. Perry himself. As of right now, Tyler Perry has not responded to or commented on Christian's statement and allegations, which honestly makes sense. Considering Christian isn't naming anyone as of right now, inserting yourself into this whole mess, despite the speculation that might be going on, might not be the wisest thing. Jumping to defend yourself when you haven't been named explicitly might just very well be the equivalent of signing your death sentence and declaring yourself guilty as charged. That said, considering Christian has stated that he has copies of everything, from recordings to PDFs, we're expecting the truth to come out to the light very soon. Just as Christian said, an NDA cannot prevent you from reporting a felony to your lawyers. Plus, rumor has it that several coworkers have seen Tyler Perry come into set and taunt Keys, which might further inculpate the billionaire actor. As far as the second alleged and speculated billionaire, it's none other than Robert Smith, who fits the bill for the scholarships donations bit. That said, considering Christian did not explicitly name a second billionaire and is almost entirely based on speculation, we're choosing not to focus too much on this one. However, just to give you the full story and what the word is buzzing about, we wanted to fill you in to the best of our abilities. What do y'all think? Do you think Christian is talking about two billionaires? Do you think Tyler Perry might be one of them? Or do you think that Robert Smith might be the culprit in this case? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss the next video.